Japanese martial arts are understood to derive from the spiritual developments based on Zen Buddhism. Even though many forms of Japanese martial arts were developed for self-defense, it was never only about the punching and kicking. For centuries, martial arts have been seen as a way for self-expression and a method to achieve the highest self physically, mentally, and spiritually. Mushin, empty mind. The goal being to attain a state of mushin, empty mind. It is a very much philosophical practice which is deep-rooted in the Japanese culture.
Too many mind.
Mushin is a state which occurs when a person's mind is free of thoughts during combat or daily lives. They have no feelings of anger, fear, or ego. In this state there is no hesitation and reaction occurs naturally without disturbance from the mental noise that can distract us. This taps into our natural instincts and intuition. It is not comparable to relaxing your mind, more freeing your mind. The mind should work more efficiently in this state with no intentions or presumptions. Some masters believe that mushin is the state where a person finally understands the uselessness of techniques and becomes truly free to move. In fact, those people will no longer even consider themselves as fighters, but merely living beings moving through space. Budo. Budo is a martial arts term referring to the way of life encompassing physical, spiritual and moral dimensions with a focus on self-improvement, fulfillment or personal growth. The term bujutsu is used to distinguish the practical application of martial arts techniques and tactics in combat. Bugei refers to the adaptation of learned tactics and techniques in order to be able to use them successfully in reality. Aiki, joining energy. A principle that is most widely used in Aikido. At its most basic is a principle it is used to redirect an opponent's power. When used, Aiki will allow a student to control their opponent's actions with less effort and an absence of muscular tension or physical effort. Aiki is a complex concept, and three aspects have been used to describe it in relation to a combat situation. Blending, not clashing. As the heading suggests, Aiki describes the idea of oneness or blending of energy in the midst of combat. Many definitions for Aiki seem to be based around awase, though due to the complexity of the word, the exact English interpretation is hard to describe. Emphasis is upon joining with the rhythm and intent of the opponent in order to find the optimal position and timing with which to apply force. To blend with an attack, many believe it is necessary to yield to incoming forces. Aiki is closely related to the principle of Ju, though the latter places more emphasis on the active physical manipulation on a mechanical structural level. Leading the assailant. The Aiki practitioner leads the attack, and thus the attacker. The influence over an attacker increases as their balance decreases. Body movements used for this may be large and obvious or small and subtle, internally generated movements. Subtle weight shifting, and the application of physical pressure to the attacker will allow you to manipulate their movements, keeping them still or unbalanced, so you can execute your techniques. There is a strong degree of intent, will or psychology to this aspect of domination. Mind and body are coordinated. Use of internal strength, ki energy. Ki-ai and Aiki use the same Japanese symbols and can be thought of as the inner and the outer aspect of the same principle. Ki-ai communicates the projection of our external strength, while Aiki relates to one's own internal strength. This use of ki will involve the use of kokyu power, i.e. breathing is coordinated with movement. Kokyu ryoku is the natural power that can be produced when body and consciousness, mind, are unified. The term kokyu, hushi, can also be used to describe a situation in which two opponents are moving with appropriate timing.